Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Toy Story 3. We have now reached infinity and beyond. So yeah, as you can see, we are now jumping right into the next level as Buzz Lightyear. We are doing a little bit of a flight section here in outer space, seemingly. Right off the bat, this is amazing, and another level that I just really like from a visual standpoint. Obviously, being a Buzz Lightyear in outer space has its perks because we get to do a little bit of exploration via the air. Of course, we have some more collectibles, so this is actually a level where it's very easy to miss some of these cards. So I believe there's like 3 or 4 of them just given to you right off the bat here. So we want to make sure that we do not miss a single one. I'm going to do my best not to do that, otherwise I will have to replay the level from the beginning, and I do not want to do that because my goal, of course, is to go ahead and collect every single collectible in each of these main story levels. So very important that we do that. But yeah, I have to say I love the idea of now traveling into outer space. We didn't really do this in the second game. We had Owl's Spaceland, which was as close as we got to outer space, which I did enjoy that level, and I thought it was really cool in terms of the design and kind of, you know, traveling through like a essentially like a toy store, which of course was based off of the second film. But this time we actually get to be in outer space for real, so that's kind of cool. It gives this game, and being able to kind of turn this game into like a shooter almost, where we're shooting things left and right, where we didn't really haven't really done a lot of that since the second game. In the second game, I kind of do miss having like Buzz's space laser, where you get to kind of shoot enemies and things like that. But we actually get to do that in this level, so kind of cool how they bring that back. That mechanic does return, very awesome, and we'll get a we'll be able to utilize a lot more of Buzz's space laser once we land here, and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about here. But we don't want to miss these cards, even though I'm kind of crashing and burning at this time. Not really doing a great job of avoiding these cliffs and whatnot. But we have finally landed, so yes, we get to do a little bit of platforming in outer space. Now, unfortunately, I don't think they do any type of gravity change where you get to jump higher or slower. That's kind of a missed opportunity there, but as you can see, the action has not stopped. We have a bunch of meteors kind of being plunged towards us here. We want to make sure we avoid them. It looks like they're actually creating a lot more obstacles, and stuff around us is just going crazy. Like the whole ground is just essentially being destroyed and restructured here as we speak. So all right, but yeah, I have to say, like I said before, this level visually just looks amazing. We went from going started on a train, went from the train to Andy's house, and now we are in outer space. So already the environments are changing pretty rapidly here, and I have to say I love it. This game, again, like I have already kind of brushed upon touched upon, it looks amazing from a visual standpoint. I mean, look at this, holy crap. It's almost like the apocalypse is happening in Toy Story 3 here.
Buzz, are you there?
I'm through the meteor shower.
So as you can see, the ground is breaking apart around us, and we'll actually be able to utilize that as a tool here. And I'll show you what I'm talking about once we discover another ability that Buzz has, which is actually one of my favorites. And you'll kind of see what I'm talking about here, like once again. But yeah, we want to kind of be careful where we're walking. Dying in this game isn't that big a deal. You don't really have like an extra life count. You just kind of restart from a certain checkpoint or whatnot. If you do fall off and die, it's really not that big of a deal. So, but here we get to learn and discover that Buzz has another ability. And as you can see, if we use the combination of the buttons that it's showing there, we can actually do this stop move, where Buzz can actually break apart the ground beneath him by stomping on it with enormous force. Very cool. That actually allows you to create new platforms to get you from one point to another point a lot more effectively, because we essentially extend our platforms out by breaking apart one larger platform that's beneath us. So very, very cool. Again, the abilities in this game are just amazing. And they do a lot more with each character in this game, and it's another reason why I really, really appreciate this game almost even more than the second game. And as you can see, we are now utilizing Buzz's laser. So if we hold down the laser button long enough on these crystals, they will actually explode, breaking apart more of the landscape here. And we have now encountered one of our first enemies of the game. So these are just, I think they're just essentially referred to as like the robot minions that Zurg unleashes. We kind of saw these guys throughout Toy Story 2 a lot. In almost every level we had a Zurg robot enemy, or you know, robot minion enemies essentially that we were kind of, you know, we're kind of faced with almost in every part of that game. And in this game, we have kind of the same thing here. They look a lot cooler. They're a lot more, I think, annoying, I would say, in this game. But it's a lot more satisfying to kind of blast them with Buzz's laser this time around, because they, it's just very cool to do that. I don't know, like being able to blast robots with the laser, it never gets old, I have to say. But breaking apart that part of the ground actually revealed a little bit of an air current here that we can use to now fly very, very high up in the air, allowing us to get further into the level. So as you can see, this is going to be kind of the main gimmick in this level, and the main function where we're essentially going to utilize the ground in the landscape and breaking it apart to advance throughout this section here. I have to say, I just love every part of this, and I know I keep saying that over and over, but it's just, I mean, this is just amazing. Like having this function in the game and being able to use just, you know, simple movesets like this to advance throughout the game, it's just really cool. Now I know the first two levels were pretty short in length. This level is still pretty straightforward. It is probably a little bit longer than the first two. So I kind of feel bad for throwing out, like, you know, the first two episodes of, like, you know, under 20-minute you know, episodes, and I almost kind of consider doing a long play of this game, and I haven't really done anything like that. I know that's kind of more of a popular format when it comes to, you know, versus just a standard let's play episodic, you know, let's play format where you're having episode after episode, you know, 20 to 30 minutes. And that's actually something I'm kind of open and considering doing in the future. I'm going to keep this format for this game. It's not really, at least the main story for this game is not super long. We have an additional mode that we're going to explore after the main story, that's Toy Box mode, that I'm going to maybe consider doing a long play of that. But for the main story, it's just going to be kind of, you know, one episode after another, you know, trying to keep it around 20-ish minutes, even though we've not really even hit that long for the first two episodes, you know, up until this point, because they've been very short, and I didn't mean to fall off there. But that's something, I don't know, maybe I will kind of keep that open to my audience, and you know, maybe anyone that's watching this, leave your thoughts in the comments. Wow, I can't believe I did that. Leave your thoughts in the comments if that's something you'd be open to me doing something on this channel, where instead of just doing like 20 to 30 minute episodes of Let's Play series, just kind of doing more of a long play where I'm talking through, like, you know, maybe like 2 hours or maybe even longer than that for a game, and just kind of playing through it, maybe in just one video, maybe 2 or 3 videos, you know, however long it takes, or however long I feel like, you know, talking in a video for. That's something I'm open to, and maybe it would have made more sense to do that for this game. Man, I'm just falling left and right here. I'm doing a horrible job in a level that shouldn't be that hard to do, but that's all right. That's just kind of how I do things. So yeah, I'm open to doing long plays, so you know, leave your thoughts and opinions maybe in the comments or something like that, if that's something that would be more interesting to watch, since that's kind of more of a prevalent form of doing, you know, something like a let's play on YouTube nowadays. So but for now, we're just going to focus on maneuvering through outer space here. We have a lot of these crystals that we need to you know, break apart in order to create more platforms, and we just want to avoid falling to our death, even though we've already done that so many times already. But yeah, I have to say, I really can't really say too much more about Just the landscape, the visuals, and the abilities and what you're able to do in this game to kind of do a lot of puzzle solving with. So I know I talked a lot about that already, but I don't know, everything about this game is just very unique and gorgeous to me, and it was one of the reasons why I really was eager to play this game. It's the first, really this is kind of my second time, I guess, playing through this game. I'm just very eager to see kind of what is in store after this, because I never really played past this point, because I just wanted to kind of get a little bit of a quick familiarity with how it controls before going through it blind all the way. So past this level, I have no idea. Well, I have an idea of what's coming up, but I've not actually played it myself. I've only seen it done on walkthroughs on YouTube. So it looks like we have another enemy gauntlet here, so we need to go ahead and take care of these robots. That way they don't cause us a little bit of pain here. These guys, yeah, I think they're a lot more aggressive than they are in the second game, where they just kind of blast you with these lasers and these shooting attacks, where you just kind of have to take them out pretty quickly. But again, it's very satisfying to do so. So we're going to continue to use our stomp move here. This time we're going to actually essentially, use our stomp ability to kind of make these platforms, kind of sink into the ground. We need to actually do this in order to get this air current flowing enough. That way we can go ahead and move over here. So as you can see, we have tons more of these moving, floating platforms that we're going to be utilizing as well. And more of the ground is breaking up beneath us. So very cool. One thing I did not mention or really talk about is these little blue orbs that you see kind of floating around some of these broken pieces of the platform are actually your health extensions, or more so like an HP refill. So if your HP, which is essentially just the yellow bar right there in the top left of the screen with Buzz's icon next to it, that's essentially just your HP bar. So again, like I said, dying in this game isn't a big deal, because you just kind of restart from a certain point. And then just get another chance to do it again, like you've already seen and you're going to see again here. But if you do maybe end up in like a boss fight, or like a part where you really don't want to die and you're kind of low on health, you can go ahead and pick up those blue orbs. And I believe they even have the a plus symbol on them, kind of indicating that that's like an HP refill. Not really something that's really obvious, but that's what those are essentially. So yeah, that's a cross, not a plus. I guess you could maybe interpret it as a plus, but it's essentially like your med kit essentially, and like a blue orb. So, but we don't need to, even though we keep falling like crazy, our HP bar is fully refilled once we die. So I don't really need it right now, even though I really shouldn't be falling and dying so much already. But I'm just kind of going through this maybe a little bit too fast, because I'm just kind of eager to get through this level to kind of see what's coming up next. But maybe we should just kind of relax, slow down, and kind of enjoy our environment around us, because I gotta say, it just is very beautiful. So now we have these little guys here that are gonna kind of do this little earthquake attack. That's we want to make sure we jump over, or we will take damage from it. But we have more of these crystals that we need to break apart, just like we've done before. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Try to avoid those little creepy little crawly robots that are doing that earthquake attack. And we have more enemies here, so I'll go ahead and take them out just like we have before. Yeah, again, like I said, this part is pretty straightforward, but we are going to be moving into a second section of the level very soon, like we did in the last level, where it's essentially broken up into, two sections. So the next section is even more interesting and cool looking. But right now we just want to go ahead and take care of these robot enemies. So they're kind of getting in our way here, and they're kind of trying to stop us from proceeding through the level, and we're not going to let that happen. We can't let it happen, man. These guys are they're going to hell. No, I shouldn't say that, but they're going down for sure. But anyways, let's go ahead and see what we can do here. Buzz Lightyear is a Space Command Ranger, so we're going to see what he can really do here. He is in full force, taking out these robots one by one. Nothing can stop this guy because he is just a force of nature. But anyways, enough of me being crazy. We're going to take care of more of these crystals, and that's going to allow us to stomp down these rocks, put them in their place. This one we have several to do, and that'll, I guess physics in this, I guess that this would correlate with real life physics if you break these rocks down, because they're floating from this air current, so we need to essentially plug all these holes that the rocks are levitating over, to gain more air through the central hole. So I guess that does match with real life physics. So I'm not a physician, but I'm sure that would make sense in real life, so we'll go with it. All right, yeah, I just love the environment around us. So you can just see, like, even like clear out in the distance, like all of those like little like space mountain type of looking things out there. It just looks very enormous. Like the whole background is just very enormous, and this guy is looking like he's going to be a little bit stronger. We took him down in 2 hits, so not too bad there. We have more of these robot guys to take out before we go ahead and take our air current ride. Looks like we're kind of getting low on health here. We're going to take these guys out before they do that to us. Make fine work of them. Yeah, the laser ability, I think I already said this already, but in this game it just feels a lot more intense. Like in the second game, you kind of just used it, pretty casually to kind of take out enemies and and to fight, various bosses throughout the game and things like that. But in this game, it feels a lot more intense, and you almost like feel like you're in the moment when you're shooting that laser and it goes off and explodes these robots. It just feels very satisfying. Like, I don't know how else to really describe it. But now it looks like we are taking these things down, these little pink bubbles. We just want to avoid them. We will take damage. But once we shoot that, that's going to open up this little grate here. Well, I guess this gigantic grate. And we want to simply jump down.
Lightyear mission log.
Oh man, that is so cool. The first time I jumped down here in this level, I just thought this was so amazing that Buzz's light, because he comes with like a light up, glow in the dark function, or is what I meant to say, where if he's in a dark area, he activates that glow in the dark feature, and it looks so cool, man. It just is so awesome. They didn't really show that at all in the second game, I don't believe, but I believe they actually based that off of the actual figurines, like the Buzz Lightyear figurines. So I think some of them, at least some of the original ones that were released like in the 90s, the late 90s when the first 2 films were released, I believe some of them did come with like a glow-in-the-dark feature. So that's kind of cool that they keep that very, again, just spot-on accurate to the films and the actual, figurine, Buzz Lightyear figurine. So very cool. It is showcased in the film, so I'm kind of surprised that they didn't go, showcase it in the other games as well. But hey, we get it again here, so very, very cool. Yeah, this is essentially the second section of the level here. So this time we are maneuvering around inside of this little, I guess you would call it like a tunnel of some sorts. We just want to avoid these electrifying laser things, and we have a lot more collectibles to find down here as well. Yeah, obviously you don't want to get shocked by the electricity. That is not good. Even as a space ranger, you don't want to do that. This right here is a very, very clever way of utilizing the little grab technique here, where you're essentially maneuvering on this rotating, I don't know what you would call this, like electrical appliance. That's what we'll call it. I don't know what the exact terminology for this thing is, but essentially you're moving with it, and as long as you're moving in the same direction every time, you actually will be able to get higher up onto it as you're just grabbing onto the side of it. So I think that's kind of cool. That was probably a horrible way of explaining that, but that's like the only way I can really explain it, is you're just kind of grabbing onto the side of it as it's rotating, and it's rotating in a way where you continuously get to the top of it. So But now we get to run away from these deadly spikes, so that's very cool. I think we've seen something like this in one of the films as well when Rex is... yeah, they took this out of the second movie, I believe, where if you remember in the very beginning of the second movie, they have like that intro scene where Rex is like playing a game, like an actual video game as like Buzz Lightyear. He's playing as Buzz, and he's going through all these little levels, and I think that was one of the parts in the in that game that Rex plays where you have to, Buzz is like running away from like that spike trap or whatever. So that's kind of cool how they pull things from other films, not just the third film. And this game is probably, I think the second game was a lot more accurate to the second film. Wow, that was a horrible way to die. Oh my gosh. But I think this game does a lot more than just pull directly from Toy Story 3, the movie. It takes kind of a lot of different mechanics and a lot of different functions from many other films. So just like, you know, the glow in the dark, you know, section or function, we have, you know, that spike trap that was kind of we were being chased by. We have, of course, the army guys, I think, show up in the third film. I can't remember. But we saw Prospector when we visited the toy box for the first time. So a lot of things were taken from really all of the films, not just the third one. And in addition to that, they do a lot more, you know, unique stuff where you'll kind of see later on as well. Like even like what we're doing now, like I don't think this was in. I mean, I don't know. This wasn't in the film at all. Like the third film, like we didn't see anything like this. Of Buzz doing anything like this. So they do a lot more than just, you know, take the material directly from the third movie. They just kind of remix it and then also pull things from the other films, as well as, you know, create new material for the game and for the story of the game. So very, very cool. And again, man, this is just a hidden gem that I can't believe I never played this when it first came out. Like this game has been out for so many years and I just never really picked it up. Like I don't know why. Like I just I guess at the time I was kind of shying away from movies that were, or games that were based off of like Disney movies or just movies in general, because they never really a lot of games that are adapted directly from films aren't usually like that great, to be honest. Like I really never like them in general, other than like the Toy Story games. Like the Toy Story games, especially being based off of a Disney movie, you would think they would make them as cheaply as possible, just kind of profit off of them. And kind of, you know, put something together really quick and just kind of release it for money. But for these games, it was really well thought out. Like not only like the levels, like the but also like the characters, like abilities, some of the puzzle solving challenges you have, the level designs, you know, even the NPCs and how they interact with some of the characters and like the dialogue, like everything. It just feels very, very almost like original. You wouldn't even know that this was based off a movie if you never watched it. You know, it would just kind of feel like its own thing. So I really like how they did that. And again, it's not really something you see a lot, I don't think, with a lot of games that are based off of films. And I think I kind of talked about that when I did my Let's Play of Toy Story 2. So I just think that's really, really cool and really unique that they were able to kind of take something new, or, you know, bring something new to a franchise that's been around for quite a while and it's very well known. Like, you know, very, very awesome. But we're maneuvering around one of these things again. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but we just want to keep moving to the right. And as you can see, we're slowly getting to the top of it. This rotating giant cylinder type of thing. We have another card that we need to collect up there. So we'll go ahead and grab that. Evil Emperor Zurg card. I love how they have... again, more callbacks to some of the, you know, more well-known characters, just even in the cards that you collect, like the Star Command cards and the Woody's Roundup cards. A lot of Easter eggs are hidden in this game as well, and I'll kind of talk about more about those once we kind of, you know, unravel those as well. But right now we just want to focus on jumping over these lasers. We'll go ahead and grab that health pickup because we kind of needed it there. We have another spike trap to run away from, and this time we have to not only run away from it, but kind of dodge these obstacles that are in our way here. I don't know. Oh, wow, that was close. I thought I was going to actually get sliced up there. But these things right here, I didn't really talk about it last time we used these, but these are kind of cool little platforms here where essentially once you step on one color, all the platforms that are that color are going to fall and disappear. So you have to kind of creatively think about your moves when you are jumping across these platforms here, and I don't think I'm going to make that. I tried something very daring there and it didn't work, darn it. But yeah, so kind of really creative with the they get really creative with the platforming in this game, where this is one example where you just kind of have to really think about your moves a lot more than you did in the last game, where don't get me wrong, there was a lot of intense and difficult platforming in the last game, and it could have just been chopped down to it was kind of buggy a little bit. It was an older game, and there was a lot of glitches, and I kind of showed that off in my playthrough of it. But this game is a lot more thought out with its platforming, I would say. So very, very cool, and another reason why I really enjoy it. So now we are in another enemy gauntlet section here. I do like the little mix up here where we get this creative little platforming section, and then we kind of jump into an enemy gauntlet. I love the kind of the combination of these things. It just keeps the level very refreshed and very exciting to play through. Like again, it just feels a lot more intense than the second game was, where you're not just thrown into a level collecting a bunch of things, destroying enemies, and that's it. Like, you're kind of getting a combination of things, and it alternates a lot more than it did in the second game. So I think I would have to say that's probably another one of my favorite parts about this game versus the second game. And I hate to compare it, this game, a lot to the other game, but I grew up and played the second game so many times that I just can't really help myself. So and being able to play this game kind of, basically for the first time, it feels very fresh, and it's just kind of nice to be able to kind of play through it and kind of compare and contrast with the other game, because I love both of the games, and I think they do a lot of great things in their own way, and I think that they both stand out for many different reasons, and they're both very different from each other. So, but now we're going to go ahead and fall down here, and what do we have here?
So, we meet again, Buzz Lightyear, for the last time.
Don't count on it, sir.
Alright, so we are facing off with the evil Emperor Zurg. Of course, we had this boss fight in the second game when we were in the elevator shaft section, I believe. This time we have a lot more of an intense battlefield here. So we have not only Zurg that we're taking on, but we have his robot minions that we're fighting as well. Love this, I have to say, I really like this. I think the elevator standoff in the second game was really epic and really cool. It was kind of too easy, in my opinion. But this one is a lot more epic, I think, and it just, man, again, from the visual standpoint, this is just amazing. These boss fights in this game are a lot more intense and a lot more creative and just awesome looking, in my opinion. So here we're just going to take care of these robots. The robots are pretty, it's still not really like that challenging of a fight overall. We just have to make sure we take down these robots before we can go ahead and defeat the evil Emperor himself. We already have his health down to essentially nothing already, so yeah, not too challenging here. This game isn't challenging overall, I would say. Maybe like the last two levels get a little bit more hectic, but overall it's a pretty simple game. So as you see,
Your evil plot ends here.
Curse you, Buzz Lightyear.
curse you, Buzz Lightyear. I love Zurg, man. He's so epic. And such a cool villain for the series. But that's going to do it for this episode. So next time on Let's Play Toy Story 3, we are going to be exploring Sunnyside Daycare, where the fun is just about to begin. So until then, I will see you later.